Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic. MetaWeb news. WB is getting investigated by the US Congress. And we've got some Last of Us news. And we're going to be diving into the latest episode of Invincible Season 3. Welcome back for another episode, everybody. We've got a full jam-packed. But first, you know what comes up next.
Welcome to the Lights, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
Thank you, everyone, coming back for another episode. Whether you're brand new, welcome. If you're just joining for the very first time, thank you. It's a pleasure having you here. And a big part of this episode I want to say is thank you very much for everybody who subscribed to our YouTube channel. We currently hit 5,000 subs, which thank you, left, right, and center. I am completely insane. I completely gobsmacked, if you will, that we've reached 5,000. Currently, right now, as I'm recording, we're currently about to hit 5,000. We're just hit 5,700. 6,000 is around the corner, which is insane, and from the bottom of my heart, from every single one of you, thank you so much for supporting the show. We've been 130 weeks strong. Every new episode, every single week. And the past 18 months, we've been live on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook all at the same time. So it's only going up. And I still can't believe the fact that we've only got 6 weeks left of the year. And there's still so much to talk about. But, I can, from the bottom of my heart, as always, it means the world to me. And I could not imagine when I started this in my garage with just a $50 mic that this show would turn into what it is currently right now. But it just, I just want to say thank you. I know I keep saying it. It's just, just seeing that just makes it all worthwhile. And I appreciate every single one of you. Now, as always, we're going to dive into the news and then we're going to get into the reviews. So straight up, let's dive into this. So the past week we've had, as I said, so much has happened this week. Now, first things first, The Last of Us 2 Remastered is coming. It's coming in January. For anyone who's got The Last of Us 2, you will be able to pay only $10 to get the full upgrade, which will have 3 brand new levels or new levels that you could explore even further. A new mode called, I think it's Nowhere to Run, where you can play as different characters. There is so much that Naughty Dog has packed into this remastered edition. Not only can you get the digital version, but you will be able to get the physical version, so don't you worry. So you will be able to get both, but if you already have the game, it is only a $10 upgrade. So that's really cool, and that's amazing. That's how much they're packed in. Usually the remaster is like, here's the game, here's a couple of skins, but you give it almost a new mode, three semi-new levels, and a whole bunch more. It's like, holy shit. I actually got something decent in this. But that's arriving in January. Now, Superman Legacy. Now, this will be the very first movie that will be in the brand new DC universe that will be directed and written by James Gunn. Yes, Blue Beetle is technically the first film in this universe, but Superman Legacy will be the very first film, brand new film to introduce this whole new world under James Gunn banner. Now, James Gunn recently went on to his Instagram and said that besides the strikes, this film will still hit its July the 11th, 2025 release date. No delays, thanks to his team. So that is still going to hit that release date regardless with everything else that's going on, which is obviously surprising, seeing as everything else is delayed. I feel like the last 10 episodes of the show, or probably even longer, actually a lot longer, I feel like the word delay or rework or pull forward is basically delay has been said every single word. Every single episode. So, but one of the news was come out is that we've also got our main villain. Now, this will be played by Marie Gabriella. I didn't butcher her name for once. Where she'll be playing the villain called the Engineer. So essentially, imagine in layman's terms, she's obviously not from this world, very technologically advanced race, but essentially, to put it into perspective, she will be like a liquid Terminator. But like her whole body is all liquid, so she can make different things and objects. So the Superman Legacy cast is really becoming around from newbies and to well-established actors and actresses. So I'm really excited for Superman Legacy. I thought I wouldn't be that side, but seeing the cast, the characters, where it's going to take place under James Gunn banner, like it's just going to be an absolute. I feel like it's going to be an absolute win, and it'll be something like. Don't get me wrong, Man of Steel is pinnacle, up the top, but after Superman Returns and then Man of Steel, Batman v Superman. This could be a really good, refreshing start, and I can't wait to see how it's all going to come out. But yes, I do understand that it is until 2025. Moving on. So, director Chad Winsky, I just butchered his last name. The director of John Wick 1 to 4, he has mentioned in a recent interview that John Wick anime is currently in the works, and a brand new John Wick TV show that will have no connection to the Continental, which silly me, I still haven't finished watching. Which is fantastic to hear that this John Wick universe is still expanding. Yes, there are still rumors that John Wick 5 is currently being written. However, I don't need to see John Wick 5. John Wick 1 to 4 is a perfect story that you don't need to continue on. And Keanu Reeves, I think he said himself, he's done as well with the character. But John Wick anime, all in, 100%. I can't wait to see that. Let's bring that on. No release date at this stage, but it currently is in the works. So is a TV show, which is also has no release date. So don't you worry for John Wick fans. The John Wick universe is still expanding, whether with or without Keanu Reeves. And obviously Lionsgate's going to want to completely milk this franchise for it as more and more they can. Also, I thought this was a little bit weird. So with the brand new Mortal Kombat, we've seen there's obviously a lot of new characters. That will be the bonus characters that we have seen, which includes Homelander, Omni-Man, Peacemaker. Now, Omni-Man has just dropped, which is obviously voiced by obviously Invincible. I was going to say Joe Jane Jameson. God damn it, that's not his name. Original voice actor. However, in a recent Instagram back and forth, Anthony Starr mentioned that he will not be voicing Homelander in the brand new Mortal Kombat DLC, which is really strange for me because you think that, okay, you're going to, all right, your likeness in this is going to be shared. Surely you're going to want to voice the character. So, but I don't think he actually voiced the character also in the spin-off, The Boys Diabolical either. So, maybe he's not really into voicing anything else. He just wants to just focus on the Boys TV show and only. We don't know why he's not voicing the character, but I'm sure when the release date for the Homeland DLC will come up, there will be a lot of critiquing when we see the trailer of him who is going to be voicing the character and how it's all said. So that's going to be interesting. But yeah, no Anthony Starr for Homelander in the brand new DC for Mortal Kombat. Now, this is really interesting. So I mentioned last week that WB has shelved a Curry versus Acme movie that is produced by James Gunn, starring John Cena, and principal photography has been done. So they're shelving the movie, essentially what they did with the Batgirl for tax purposes. Now, since that announcement has come forward, the fact that apparently U.S. Congress is actually will be investigating WB because is it doing tax fraud or they're just doing it off the wrong reasons. So now for WB shelving this movie because they're too lazy to move forward, they're now effed because now the US Congress is going to be investigating because this is the third time. Now, I know Batgirl was one of them, but I can't remember what the other film was. Obviously, if I can't remember, then WB really wanted to bury this. But yeah, WB is going to be under investigation by U.S. Congress. You should have just released the movie, WB. You should have just released the movie, and you wouldn't be having this problem. Now this is look. Marvel is going up. Marvel's going down. Good news, bad news, left, right, and center. It's keeping people like myself really busy. Now, unfortunately, this was announced a while ago. However, the Shang-Chi director, who is going to be coming back for Shang-Chi 2, that is still going to be happening regardless. So don't worry about that. But Dennis is no longer going to be directing Avengers Kang Dynasty. Now, including about the Kang Dynasty, there's also another story that apparently that the name Kang Dynasty will also be changed as well. With all the delays, the rescheduling, there's a lot that could be on the table. Now, for me personally, I still want to see Avengers Kang Dynasty. I still want to see Jonathan Majors as the main character. Obviously, it also depends on his court case, of course. But no, Dennis hasn't come forward to saying why he's dropped out. It could be multiple things. People think the worst because people say, oh, no, he's looked at the project. It's shit. It's going to be awful. It could be very much the fact that it's a scheduling conflict. There's probably another project that he's wants to be more involved in. He wants to tackle, and he wants to do that. Obviously, if he's still directing Shang-Chi, he still does want to be around with Marvel. He still wants to continue on. It could very much be a scheduling conflict. We don't know the full reason why. However, Kang Dynasty has lost its director, so it'll be up for grabs. It is going to be a mission to helm this movie. Same with Secret Wars, but I do believe that they're not going to do the double directors like what they did with Infinity War and Endgame. But still, whoever takes of it, it's going to be a massive task. But if done right, will be fantastic. I have no doubt Marvel, Avengers Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars is going to be great. I feel like Secret Wars, because it's going to have Doctor Doom in it and so much more, I have no doubt that Secret Wars will probably be the better movie. But unfortunately, yes, Dustin has left the project. Now, this was a big speculation that we had in the space of 24 hours the other day with What If, Madam Web. Apparently, Pedro Pascal has been offered the role as Mr. Fantastic, which for me, yes, absolute win. He'd be fantastic in it. I can't wait to see that. But one of my friends did make a very good point. Now, the Fantastic Four film is Fantastic Four are going to be new pillars of the MCU moving forward. As much as Pedro Pascal would be fantastic in it, I think he's a little bit too old. Because the guy's 50. So by the time Fantastic Four comes out, sequels, more Avengers films, I don't know. I really, if he plays Doctor Doom, that could work out, but I still feel like Marvel needs to go with a much younger cast, much younger, very similar to what Superman Legacy is doing for their very first family. But tell me what you think. We recently did a poll on our YouTube channel of who would you rather see, Pedro Pascal or John Krasinski from Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness, which everyone picked Pedro Pascal by, I think it was 72% to 21% after 130 votes. So to see Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic is very high. However, for the future and the growth of the Marvel Universe, I don't know if he'll be the right pick, to be honest. If he was 30 years younger, boom, 100% down. But yeah, no. Now, as I mentioned, What If Season 2 always got a brand new trailer. 9 episodes dropping on December 22nd. Every single episode for every single day. Trailer looks fantastic. The animation looks great. I love the stories they're going to tell. We also did a trailer reaction to it as soon as it dropped, so definitely give that a check out. It's looking. I know What If got a lot of hate, but I'm all for it. The animation looks crisp. We've got some returning characters. We've got obviously multiple returning characters from season 1. So I'm very curious to know why this is still happening after all the events of season 1. and who is going to be the big bad again at the end of season 2. As we saw, will they all come together, or these stories will be all solely separately? And there's also the brand new character that Marvel has made for this TV show, which we will get to see. Madam Web. Madam Web. So Madam Web is dropping on the 14th of Feb next year. And I gotta be honest with you, the trailer that we got, so the premise is the fact that I think someone, it's obviously a time multiverse movie, because Madam Web has their powers to jump the multiverse and time, and the fact that apparently potentially someone's going to try and kill Uncle Ben, Aunt May, and Peter Parker's parents, so Spider-Man doesn't happen. There's also another weird Spider-Man that's also killing all these Spider Women. As soon as I saw the Sony logo, I'm already like 50% out, because obviously we know this is coming from the same studio that made Morbius, made Venom 2, and we are getting another Spider-Man movie without the main Spider-Man, because Sony won't give up the rights to Marvel and just give up. So, yeah, I don't know. For me, I was like, cool, I'll watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to see it. I'm going to get tickets for it. But nothing of that. I was blown away. Again, I was even blown away by Kraven the Hunter, which I totally forgot that's still coming out at some point, because that got pushed back so far. But yeah, it just seems to me like, again, here's a Spider-Man movie, but that's Spider-Man. Cool, you haven't got the titular character that connects all this together. But I've seen a lot of people's comments that this is very much like half and half. So some people are really excited for it. Some people think this is going to be a big pile of trash. So definitely let me know which one you are. Are you excited for this movie, or do you think Sony is just going to get another bust again? This is just Morbius 2 with Spider-Women. Also, Frozen fans. So Bob Iger has announced the fact not only is Frozen 3 currently in development, but Frozen 4 is also coming. So between Frozen 1 and Frozen 2, there's about a 6-year gap. So if that lines up properly, Frozen 3 should come out about 2025, which means it'll probably be 2030. 2030 when we'll see Frozen 4. Now, Frozen was a completely smash hit amongst Disney fans, kids everywhere. So the fact that it's getting Frozen 4 is surprising. I thought they would probably want to just keep this as a trilogy, but okay, if that's what you want. Yeah, all right. Let's see how it goes. Let's just get to Frozen 3 first before we get to Frozen. Obviously, go further down the track with the Frozen 4. But yeah, Frozen 3, we're looking roughly at 2025. There's no official release date. It's only if we keep that same time frame. But definitely let me know if you're excited for Frozen. Also, Harley Quinn fans. Harley Quinn has been renewed for season 5 on, I suppose, HBO Max, but it's just Max now. Harley Quinn, this show has done extremely well. The writing, the animation has been so positive. I actually need to go back and I need to rewatch this. I'm a bit late to watching it. I did start watching this and I got distracted with something else. But for Harley Quinn fans, season 5 is going to be coming soon. So you're probably looking around 2020, end of 2024, maybe 2025, roughly about then. But don't worry, more Harley Quinn is on the way. Also, Stephen Youngs, I think I haven't butchered his name. So there's been a massive rumor that Stephen will be appearing in Thunderbolts as Sentry, which is essentially the Marvel's version, the Marvel universes of Superman. Now, the rumor has been going around for a little while now. However, the creator of Invincible has mentioned that apparently during a conversation, Steve said to him that he's just come back from a suit fitting and that he only is meant to play characters with suits that are yellow and blue, which of course is Sentry's uniform. So Sentry is meant to be the villain in Thunderbolts, which is why the Thunderbolts team gets assembled. to go to try and battle him, which sounds a lot better than what that first Suicide Squad movie is planned. Let's get a whole bunch of mortals to fight a supernatural being. Fantastic. But yes, best as mentioned, and I think he's going to do a fantastic job. Right now, he is on a complete high with Invincible. Yes, it is funny the fact he only plays characters with yellow and blue suits, but I think it'd be fantastic. However, yes, we were meant to get Thunderbolts next year, but Thunderbolts has been delayed into the year after. So remember, we're only getting Deadpool 3 next year, which is gut-wrenching. And it's funny, actually, I haven't checked what DC movies there are, because as far as I know, I'm like Aquaman 2 and then Superman Legacy. Is that the gap? I don't know. I'll double check for everybody. But Stephen will get into that. But yeah, that's also my mistake. We also get a brand new trailer for Suicide Squad 2. So Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is an upcoming video game, which, if you don't know already, is by Rockstar that made the Arkham games. Now, this game was meant to come out in April this year. However, about a month prior, they released a trailer which completely bombed. Everyone criticized it. It was really, people really didn't like it at all. So after that, Rocksteady said they came forward and said the fact the game will be delayed. So the game is meant to come out on 2nd of Feb 2024. Now, the brand new trailer looks fantastic. I loved it. I'm going to buy it. I am in 110%. But in saying that, one of the bonus things is that not only if you pre-order the game, you will also get the brand new, they also have an original skin. So all the titular characters, you can get them on their original skin characters from their comics, which is a nice kind of bonus. But I would love to know what you guys think. Are you excited for this, or did you find that new trailer was exactly the same? And you're like, this is going to be nothing new. It's looking to be a little bit different, looking to be a little bit, obviously compared to the Rockstar Arkham versus, but let's be honest. Their storytelling is wild and it's fantastic. The world building. So I have no doubt, besides maybe the gameplay, maybe, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League will be an absolute win, absolute banger. I will be buying it. I will be reviewing it, and we will be diving into that without a shadow of a doubt. But I'd love to know what you think. Now, let's get on to our review for Invincible. I also forgot to mention, too, that I just a couple of days ago, we was invited to an advanced screening of a brand new movie called Cat Person, which I will be reviewing as well. That will be dropping sometime this week. So definitely stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe and like button on our YouTube channel so you don't miss that review. Now, Invincible. Now, I did review Invincible last week because we had the massive final of the end of Loki Season 2, and we also had the Marvels. So if you haven't checked out the episode, go check it out. Oh my God, there was so much to divulge about Loki Season 2 final and dive into that. The Marvels, well, I will let you get into that. I'll let you get into what you think about the Marvels and what my review was for that. So, Invincible Episode 3, which is kind of sucks. Because yay, you got Episode 3, but at the same time, we've only got 3 more weeks of Invincible before it does its half-season final, and then we got the rest of Season 2 next year, which currently has no release date. Now, I'm really hoping it better be coming out in Feb. It better be dropping in Feb for it, because it sucks the season gets split. I'm like, Amazon, you're not Netflix. Don't split the season. I hate that. Because yes, we are meant to apparently get a mid-season cliffhanger, but it's still annoying because then you're just like, huh, cool. All this hype to get into this brand new new season, and then you're like 6 weeks of them, boom. Like, just drop it. Just drop all of it. Just continue. Well, look at What If Season 2. That's going all the way through Christmas. And then probably, yes, someone can make an argument saying, oh, they're doing that because they're just trying to get rid of it because of Echo, blah, blah, blah. But that's still going through. It's a streaming service. You should be able to stream it the entire time. That's the point of it. Anyway, enough of that. So this episode is pretty much Alan's episode. Alan the alien, who's voiced by Seth Rogen. Now, episode two was more of Eve, Mark, or having that big underwater fight, and Debbie still trying to get back into work, and it turns out to be a rough. So I have to say, like, yes, everything that happened to Mark, but I am feeling so much. I feel so sorry for Debbie, and this episode pushes even further. Like, she's trying to get back to her life, and her son's going off to college, with his best friend William in the same room, and also with his girlfriend as well. And she's gonna be by herself. So within the space of like a year, she's gone having her husband, her son at home, who was a normie until a particular point, and now, now that her husband's gone MIA, her son's gone to college and has his powers, and she's by herself. So this particular episode, she goes to a superhero support group, and which they all go through, and about who's your superheroes, how they died, and they go through that. And I feel for Debbie, I really do. She is just, I feel bad for her so much. And even this episode. So even though it's Alan the Aliens episode, we still get to find out what Mark and the rest of the characters are doing, which is a lot of fornicating. Between Mark and his girlfriend, and Alan and his girlfriend as well. So that's the funny part of that. But what I like about this episode is that we're focusing on Alan. We finally see what happens after he leaves Mark and goes to tell the Coalition about what he's discovered. So this expands the Invincible universe even further. So we get a background of Alan, how he came to be, how terrible the Viltrumites are, and how he became the hero, and he goes to the council. Now, he presents the council about what he's found with Mark, how Viltrumites also left their post, which is not heard of, and we're also introduced into Thaddeus. Thaddeus, who's voiced by Peter Cullen. As soon as I hear his voice, I'm like, I am Optimus Prime. Kick in Linkin Park's What If. Every time I hear his voice, I'm like, that's Peter Cullen. He's got such a particular voice, and he's also, I think in December, he's up for the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is so well deserved. And as he's presenting to this council, he goes with a recap on everything that's been happening. Thaddeus also says, now, the council are a little bit iffy, but they all do support him and what this could mean. Now, Thaddeus does tell him apparently there's a spy in the council and a mole. And within 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the episode, I think about, 15 minutes of the episode, he goes from having intercourse, and then goes with his girlfriend, tell her to go have lunch or something like that. And then he gets attacked by Viltrumites. 3 Viltrumites rock up, smash him out through a window, and beat his ass ridiculously because he does not want to tell, because they're asking me questions about Mark. They're asking about Omni Man, what happened, but Alan's not giving shit, and he gets his ass completely reamed. And this, I feel sorry for Alan, but what I do love about this show is that this show is just as brutal as The Boys. So this I can't stress enough. If you like The Boys and you haven't watched Invincible, you need to start watching Invincible now, especially if you're one of those silly critics. It's like, Marvel is just like for kids, and Marvel's just horrible. I need something alternative. And obviously don't look at DC at the moment, because that is just in pile of ruin. So Invincible is where you want to be. He gets his ass brutally beaten to almost to death, and it's almost a little bit unsettling how much he gets beaten down by his Viltrumites that leave him in space. His eye falls out. There is blood everywhere. And then they leave him, which then his girlfriend tells her she's taking care of him in this like chamber, which then Thaddeus walks in, tries to be the friend, walks out because he's like, I'll look after him. Then oh yeah, by the way, spoilers, left, right, and center. Sorry, my bad. Spoilers. Sorry, and turns off his life support and kills Alan. Alan was one of the good characters. Yes, he's voiced by Seth Rogen. He was one of the funny, but I was like, yeah, I was rooting for Alan all the way. And in that scene, I was like, oh my God. Poor Alan. Honestly, poor Alan. I feel bad for him, but look, I really do hope he comes back. That would be fantastic, but you didn't see the beep. So hopefully that means the fact he's not dead. He's fine. So not only is that going on, but we also get to see what the Guardians of the Globe are doing, and we see that Rudy Robot still struggling with his fear. He goes on a date. I want to say a date with Monster Girl, because like even Monster Girl, she's really young. I think she's obviously they're the same age, so they go on a date because he starts feeling fear and has Macca's essentially for the very first time, and he loses his mind. And we also see Shapesmith, who's such a weird unit. Because we obviously know he's the alien from Mars. He just wants to be a hero. But that's going on as well. So we still see the tidbits between them, especially the fact that with Immortal and Invincible, who's about to go off to a different planet. Now, before I get into that, so Debbie does go to the support group. She meets a guy called Theo, which we find out that he was one of the Guardians of the Globes. He was their partner. She got killed by Omni-Man, and they got having this scene together, they're chatting, and then she does tell him the fact that my husband was Omni-Man. This guy flips his lid at her and says, you shouldn't come back to the group. It's wrong because a bit of them is all from because of her husband. She's crying, and it's just rough for her. Just rough for you. Like for me, like I feel for her the most. But that whole scene was rough for her, and she's last scene is she's walking down the street crying. And then on the flip side of that, so Mark has this weird indication with this weird thing where one of these superheroes he has comes knocking at the door. He's just a comic book character, and he's like, I need your help, Mark Grayson. I need you to do this. And then they have a little bit of tiff, and then you find out he's just this bug creature. And this bug creature says to him, he's like, my planet's in trouble. There's meteorites. I need your help. But to get there, it takes roughly about 7 Earth days. So Mark tells Amber that he'll go and help them after, thanks to William says to him, like, you should go. Don't not go, because the last time you didn't help, a lot of people died. As remember, if you're with William and what happened with his boyfriend, which was a horrific episode and very dark. So Mark goes off with this alien. Cecil does tell him not to go. Again, does the whole play. That's what your dad said. Don't be like your dad. And he's like, no, I'm still going to help these people. Now, I'm very curious, knowing the fact that it's taken. They do mention how long it takes is 7 days, so a whole week he's gone. So he flies this planet, but the planet's fine. There's no meteorites. There's nothing going on. He's fine. And he says to the alien, he's like, what about meteorite? He's like, what meteorite? Oh, yeah. He's like, the council will explain everything. Go see the council. They'll understand. So they walk up. There's 3 bug aliens at the top, which you think is the monarch. That's going to happen. And he obviously bows and then you hear these giant footsteps. And then, boom, he's dead. His dad's like, it's been a long time, son. And obviously Mark freaks out. I was like, oh, shit. And boom, that's how the episode ends. So I wasn't expecting this to be how soon these two would catch up with his dad. But yeah, that is what that's what's going to be going into episode 4. So episode 4 coming right now is very highly anticipated. and what he's been doing. Now, these are potentially spoilers, but in the comics, Iron Man has gone to this planet. He's fallen in love. He's mated with another part of his creatures, and he's got another child. And Mark has like some kind of bug alien half brother. Whether or not they're going to do that is a different story. Now, with that, it makes me wonder is that because right now Mark's away, and the Viltrumites don't know much about what's going on. Will the Viltrumites go attack Earth while Mark and his dad's here? What will his dad's army going to do? I really do hope as the season progresses, we get a scene between Iron Man and Debbie, and they have a moment together, or good or bad. Hopefully good, but I want to get that. But this episode, what I love about this episode is that the emotional drama between Mark trying to be a hero, trying to balance that superhero life, and everything that's happening with Debbie and the team. So with all this going on, there was actually, it's funny, last week's episode we got a lot of Eve, but this episode we got no Eve at all, even though she's one of the main characters. But it's still, this is great writing. And it's staying strong. I'd love to know what everyone thinks about this episode and what, the good and the bad. But for me, it's what's going to lead into the next one is a big idea, because there's only 3 left, and whatever the cliffhanger is going to be in season 6. Because don't forget, I forgot his name. He's still jumping around or doing things. Multiverse. He wants to obviously kill Mark. So that's still happening in the background with everything. So there's a lot going on. And you need to jump on the show right now. You will not be disappointed, but still strong. I find episode 2 and 3 have been staying strong. I haven't felt that filler vibe, but obviously we've got a couple of more to go before the end of that. So you never know, but you have to be jumping on the show by now. You have to. So please let me know what you think, the good, the bad, and what do you think is going to be the massive cliffhanger at the end of this mid-season final. Now, guys, that is my review for the latest episode of Invincible. As I mentioned, there was so much that happened this week. Great episode of Invincible, Superman Legacy, Avengers Bad News. There's just so much going on, but don't forget that coming up in this next few weeks, we've got Wonka, Aquaman 2, Aquaman 2, and we've also got Napoleon, What If, all coming up before the Christmas, so get involved in that. And in January, Echo is to kick off the beat. Also, don't forget about Rebel Moon. So there was a lot going on, so get ready for that. And as always, until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.